Welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome, and the day I'm gonna be going to Bearsley Park, as they call it. And it's basically for football happens. But I'm not going to be speaking to a football player, I'm actually going to be speaking to the chairman. Does that mean there's a half-time break? And fit happens if anybody gets injured in this podcast.
And welcome folks to the Jim Adams Stadium, and today's game is going to be Sticky Trifle versus the Pie Shop. And today's game will be sponsored by Sticky Trifle Podcast. And on commentary tonight is Finlay Noble and Errol Watt. Sticky Trifle Podcast. And let's take you over to the commentary team in the dugout. Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome to Sticky Trifle Podcast number 57. We're on a roll. We've had two females the last time. You didn't look like a female.
Well, I did my top off.
We could get you a wig. You want a wig and it'll look good as a female.
Yours has been hairy now.
Same here though, same here. Right, so and a lot of folk can't find you are, by the way, but it's Finlay Noble. And we're here at Fraserburgh Football Club.
Correct, eh?
And it's been around since 1910.
Is that, eh?
Is that right? Right, so, will you have a drink with me first?
I will, eh?
I've got classic Vimto here.
Oh,
you alright with Vimto?
I am, eh?
Now I mentioned about 10 a beer with, but you wasn't sure. So like, do you drink alcohol?
Yes, not a lot, but
you do?
I have my moments.
Right, okay, that's fine to hear. Right, we're going to test this. It should be, cheers.
Cheers.
It should be a normal test we can it to be. Aye.
Perfect.
I feel like a kid again.
Okay.
Feel like a kid again.
The Cremola full.
Right, so great to hear you on. Now I've been on this, Finlay. I've been meaning to get round this time. There's always odd folks saying, Finlay Noble doing Fraserburgh Football Club, and I've always had this thing. I like football, but I didn't follow it religiously. But the one thing I will follow religiously is a World Cup and a Euros.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an odd time I've been doing here to watch a game with the loon. So for you, it's a real passion, is it? A real...
Aye, it is.
And
so, my life.
So how did this happen? So when you was young, was your mum and dad together? Or?
Aye.
And did your dad used to take you to games? Or
no, in fact, there's very few. My family was really interested in football, but my brother-in-law sadly died a few months back, Baxter, Richie.
Yes, I did hear about that. Was it because of COVID or not?
It was during COVID times, but it wasn't really COVID.
It wasn't actually
he had
COVID.
That's never got him. But no, he was kind of obsessed with football all his days, so he got me kind of interested in football.
And so like, was we speaking like 5-year-old, 10-year-old?
Probably around about 7, 8-year-old.
7, 8-year-old.
Coming here. I can't really mind much of the games. I come in for a start. Again, took my bike and sneaked in sometimes. But it was only probably when I was about 10 that I started taking a notice and kind of minding in the games and what they actually meant. What have you.
Aye. Now, I don't know if this is true. Did you used to support Dundee?
No, other side of the street.
Right, okay. So it was the Dundee?
Dundee United.
Yes, I'm sure somebody told me it was Dundee or so. Right, so you and I is how's the family life anyway? Because I don't know a lot about you, so you married?
Yes, I married Alison. I've been for 26 years.
How did you meet her?
Was at school together.
Same class?
Same class. Never looked around each other, but
and then you seen her like 2 years later, or no?
Well, I think she took pity on me. But no, well, she was a reporter with the Herald. And Mark Jackson, if I was the football reporter for the Herald, if he was on holiday or whatever, then I used to do reports and hand them in.
And so you just kept bumping it now?
Aye, and spoke about the Pictors and agreed to get the Pictors a couple of times, and then kind of blossomed from there.
So it was like a slow burn in love.
Aye, so any time she complains about football, that's how really we got together, so
Aye.
we can't really
And
get on too much.
and so, how long you been married now?
26 years.
26 years.
Kids past.
No kids.
No, I hadn't grown up myself yet.
Pets
No, I had pets when I was younger.
and dog, cats.
Tortoise.
Just the one.
Just about now. George was good. It was the only thing I could keep up with. He was chasing around the garden.
Right. Okay.
I had a dog.
And
Couple of
then you're a chairman here, by the way.
yes.
Aye. And it's been a few years, isn't it?
2008.
Well, that's a long time.
For 14 years.
Right. And so, see, when you're here as a chairman, you're obviously at meetings. You're making decisions. Does it involve the players and stuff, the teams? Or?
Well, it certainly involves the manager and the coach and stuff. But part of it, I can't the chairman, but we've got a fine, good board of directors and can sort of. We've all got our own strengths.
So how much folk is on the board?
9.
You 9 or 10 on the
9.
board or something like
Aye.
that. Okay. And see when you get together. So like, we're speaking financial stuff.
Pretty much noon again.
Aye.
But again, it's not a difficult club to finance because we didn't spend daft money and stuff. Well, the players are on huge money. There's no massive signing on fees or bonuses. So we're trying to live within our means.
Aye.
And then if we do get a bit extra money, then the renovations you can see here is.
Yep. Must admit it's looking great for the viewpoint and everything. And you've just gotten some roofing up where it stand area.
Aye, I mean, Martin Gray, he come on board start of last season, and he's been a breath of fresh air. And sometimes it happens. Can you get somebody new and
Aye.
a bit of a buzz, but he's been brilliant. I mean, he's done in heaps of advertising.
And how long did this shelter stick to getting up? Like a standing shelter?
Started about 3 weeks ago maybe, because it's cement.
Yep.
Aye, and the flare. So the folk are standing in tubs when they come in and the screen and things like that.
And that's the other thing I was going to mention. See, around the football stadium, you've got a lot of sponsors. And is each of them sponsoring a football, or are they just supporting it?
It's just they pay an annual fee.
So they like advertise themselves.
Yes, aye.
Plus it's giving you a little bit.
Well, it's a good revenue earner for it,
Aye,
and we like to think it's like a two-way street.
Aye.
So hopefully, our supporters will can go to places that are advertising.
So is that?
It's majority is local.
Is there folk here, Finlay, and when you're at a football stadium? Is there folk here got like full-time jobs every day here? No.
No.
So I think part-time with Abdi.
Aye, it doesn't feel like it sometimes. I have to
Aye.
say, but it's
Because I presume when you're doing here, you get very attached, and there's a lot going on, is there?
That's right. I mean, you could nip doing for 5 minutes and then
Turns into an hour.
in there sometimes.
Aye, right, okay.
I mean, it's there's worse places I could be at.
Right, so let's get back before we getting back to this again. Let's get back to career-wise.
Okay.
You was at Brock Academy.
Aye.
Do you mind me asking your age? It's all right if you do that.
No, I'm 53.
Right, you look younger, by the way. I was thinking 48, 49. So,
There's no wrinkles, you see.
so Brock Academy, you good behaved?
I think so.
You wasn't getting up to much trouble.
Oh no.
Aye,
Too
okay.
fair.
And so, was a plan when you left school?
Well, it didn't really. Well, I mean, before I left school, I had a job lined up. Charlie Duncan was a manager here. So it was back then it was YTS.
Right. Okay. Aye.
That scheme had just come out, I think. I think it was Yacht or something before that. But anyway, it was YTS. So I got a job working with him, roof tiling in Harlan. So it was obviously a bit slimmer roofing then, but it was.
How did you find out? Was it a dangerous job? Or it could be.
I didn't think so, no. But if you see the amount of scaffolding that goes up now compared to if it was back then, I mean, it's like, what you asking? I don't know again if companies that were doing that sort of stuff 30, 40 years ago could survive. I can, because it was only a two-man, I was Charlie and Bert. And they would probably struggle nowadays with the amount of scaffolding that's going up for health and safety and stuff. But no, so I did that for 3 years.
And then you moved on to fit after that?
Well, it kind of was like a Woolen Mill and Peterhead, it was in William Wilson's, but then I went to Green Adams, I was there for 11 years.
How do you find Green Adams? Because can I be honest?
Huh?
There's a lot of, I get sometimes a lot of students, ex-students, and they're going, oh yeah, it's kind of like a prison camp. But they're the same guys that kind of bide there. They keep biding there.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I was in a store and you made your own fun, and it was, not easy goes kind of person anyway, but I was there for 11 years, and for me, Green Adams probably could have moved further south. They made a lot more money than what they've done. So for them to stick to the Brock, to the local community, it's a godsend for a tune. Still is, isn't it?
It keeps a lot of fucking jobs for sure. Aye. But I can't out myself. There's a lot of folk kind of moan about a job, but they still buy there, even though they say, "Oh,
that's right." And it can. And you see folk that's been there for 25, 30, 40 years. So it's not a bad place.
And then you're now with Green Adams now, sir?
No, I'm a score.
So did you move on from Green Adams to score?
Well, I went to Wood Group first, then to the Island Gas, and then I went to score.
And how long you been to score now?
So it's 2005, so it's roughly.
I like the way you spend a lot of time at places. Same way here. It's about the same kind of time.
I didn't say I didn't like change. I got an issue with change, but I like a comfort zone.
Alright, okay. And so this takes up your spare time quite a lot. So we're speaking, say weekends. You're doing here on like a Saturday for sure?
But either at home or away. So if we're at home, I'm doing here 10:30.
And that's a full day till 6?
Well, till 8 o'clock.
8 at night?
Chucking out time at 7 when we're through it, but there's the time our brings away and clear up the tables and everything that we've got staff and are brilliant in the hospitality, so we'll be lots with it them. So
FA provides food and that. See like we've got the a little, is that a canteen bit?
Aye, pie shop.
The pie shop does that? A pie shop you cut?
That's Thistle Catering, so they're can't think of the word. Can we just allow them to do it?
Aye,
so
okay.
We've no input to that, and they just give us
and about how does it work with drinks in a football stadium? Only soft drinks?
Oh aye, because and it's a lot, it's not just a football thing, it is, can you not allow drink?
And it makes it awkward if, I presume you'll get the odd guy coming in, he's quite a few drinks if you can find.
But we tend to get, because there's very rarely bother here. And sometimes folk will be drunk, but that's sometimes that's the atmosphere as well. Can provide them a fechten. And
now, would it be safe to say now, Brock had such a big win with a club that is that what's the pinnacle, is it?
We lost to promotion, we lost to Bonnie Rig Rose, or 2 legs, which was quite disappointing. Because it's something we wanted, but we can just go again, try again this year.
But celebrations, I mean, it happened was
brilliant,
one of the best times I've seen folk around the Brock here.
Well, it was, I mean, the Rangers game a few years back kick-started the shops decorating their black and white, but the week leading up to the Forest game, because that was the last game of the season, we had to win the league. In fact, I think we could have drawn, but for the beginning of the week we needed a win, and that's pretty much what he was focused on. But the build up to the game, the tune in the shops, with their Brock flags and scarves and
made a massive difference.
It was brilliant. It was really good.
Can we speak about like a team and all? It's sale right now. See Abdi in a team. So they've all got, and I'm doing this for a viewpoint. Let's just say somebody that doesn't care about football. For us team, Abdi has daytime jobs. It's in a team. Would that be right? And then so for fun do they train here? Twice a week.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Monday and Wednesdays, and then
Monday was a Saturday just now, but we're can finish games on.
And then you have games either Saturday or Sunday.
Saturdays and Wednesdays.
Saturday and Wednesdays are games always. Okay. Now see, that's just something I was wanting to mention. Okay, so see when you've got a team full of players, and you've got most of the guys is motivated. I presume over the years you get this guys for they'll be great players, but their weekend life their party lifestyle could possibly spoil it. Have you seen that happen a lot?
No. I mean, they're training Monday night, Wednesday night. They're basically told to bide in on a Friday, or certainly bide off drink on a Friday. And then they've got the game on Saturday. So Saturday nights is their only real kind of time to hear any kind of social.
So there's no like a lot of problem or ears for you get the odd person and you feel that disappointment because you think, I'd kind of big this guy up to be the next big thing.
No, I mean, we've been really lucky kind of over the years. We haven't had bad eggs at a club. Again, and certainly I know. I mean, it's
and why is that anyway, Finlay? Is it down to parenting, you think? Do you think that takes
quite possibly? I mean, can because the most of the players are local or semi-local. They've got an affiliation to the club already. So nobody can take some piss or nothing.
You're right. Okay. So does that gang back to like you've got them come in from their younger way, like a dad or things like that, and they start getting a lot of respect for the stadium, and would that be right?
I think so. I mean, seeing even the guys that are in the Brochers, because we've got one or two that are in, and they feel welcome by the minute they come into the club, and that's just how we are. We didn't go our why to do anything different. It's just how we are, and it seems to work. But can folk get testimonials? If they've been
that's like the end of their career, isn't it?
If they're here for a long time, like Brian Hay, his testimonial year just now. But we'll probably have testimonial every year, and that is because folk bide at the club quite a long time. So I think we're queued up. I think there's three due testimonials.
That's this year.
Well, Brian, I think it's Brian, then probably Paul Leask, then Ryan Cowie after him. I think that's the order. Obviously, we're a couple of years ahead because kind of COVID.
Let's go there with COVID and all. Obviously, 2020. All things went great at the club. Then you're told that's it, no more games. How was that for you personally? Was it gutting?
It was, because we really didn't care if it was in front of us. I mean, initially, we thought
a month or two.
Exactly. This was in March the 13th, I think was the date. Then we thought, because we stopped the season, and we as a club can propose that Brora should win the league because of the points per games thing. And thought, we'll start again. Because some folk will just finish the season later on in the year. But then we'll squash an eye again. We'll be back when we're running by July.
And it never.
We didn't think for a minute that it would last. But after a couple of months, when you thought, this is not going to work, it was scary to think, first at a club going to end up.
And so was there no players like coming and practicing?
No one allowed.
It's so strange to hear that though, isn't it?
But to be fair to them, they set up like a Zoom thing, so they were like in their living rooms training. So I think Ryan Cowie, because there are fitness fanatics. Ryan Cowie was taking the session, so he was like, so everybody was in their living rooms doing the exercises that he'd set them. But see 30 years ago, and folk went away, pre-season, and the season would finish, and they would come back a stone and a half heavier in 2 weeks in Magaluf or whatever, and they're back, and they're battered soft on a beach to try and lose the weight to start the season. But now they come back exactly the same, to the nearest pun, probably the same weight.
And so how's that? That's players are getting to gym and stuff, and they're jogging and running and so. See, like I presume it's a hard thing to be a fit bar though sometimes now.
It is.
You've got a lot of there's restrictions on you being a fit bar, isn't there? So there's certain things you can't be doing, and there's things you've got to look after with your body, and I suppose the mindset and that. So there's a lot comes in it.
Again, getting back 25, 30 years. I mean, folk that turned 30, I was looking for the cut-off point. You're a veteran, as the papers used to call them. And that was kind of the time that folk would wind down their careers. But folk at 30, there's still 5 or 6 years left in them because of the, I suppose, the advancement in medical, how to keep your body in shape.
The dietary side of things and that.
And can they're into that and their milkshakes after training. And, it's like, bloody hell.
Which Ewans didn't see when you was younger, I presume.
No.
No same conditioning, was it?
No, neither at all.
Aye, okay.
And it was game finished at 20 to 5 o'clock.
Right, so getting into, let's say somebody was wanting to be in a team. How do they prove themselves? Could somebody show up at a stadium going, listen, can I get a tryout? Does that happen?
That happens. I mean, I kind of think of somebody that's did that and did well. But I can, well, I'm saying it happens, I'm going to say we're near really a club like that.
Aye.
But that's no to alienate everybody. We've got Link Up in the town for a fantastic job. And with getting up to, although they have got age groups above 16, but it tends to be, we didn't look at we haven't got youth teams below us because they do so good a job that we didn't need them. So fit was catered for get up to 16, but then hopefully the best teams come to us.
Right, so fit age are you allowed to be in a team?
Well, probably 15 is the. Well, you're not allowed to play if you're under 16 for the first team. But we've got like an under 18 team, and probably last season before, the majority of them was like 16 and 17 maybe because of the COVID. But we tend to, because we've got an under 21s and it's pretty much the same.
And is there a limit on the further end of the scale of the age? Like Fanders folk usually going, okay, I'm gonna cut a day here with you.
Probably early to mid 30s now.
Aye.
Because they're so fit.
Nobody's ever getting into 40s.
Well, Billy Gordon, but I think we probably played at least 50. He was a goalie, but he played 721 games, which was a phenomenal. I don't think one beat a club will beat that. Well, you never know, but it'd be difficult. And Billy wasn't the fittest.
So usually in their 30s, folk will decide, and then they get a testimonial kind of thing. Is that right?
Aye.
And fit about younger groups coming here in our Finlay, because you've got younger groups in our come to practice.
I mean, with that Easter camp thing, again, Martin Gray on that. It was a roaring success. We're going another in October, 30 holidays. And it gets bearings in into the club and can see what we're about.
And how do they find out about that? Is it just by word of mouth kind of thing?
I think it's probably Facebook for them, just Facebook. They'll get it. The parents will probably see it through Link Up and various other youth clubs, and they'll come along and if the weather's fine, which hopefully it should be, then they'll get a few sessions in the park. So again, it's.
Is it? And so in a way, are you a bit of a scout in that? Do you get about
me
kind of idea? Is there certain times you see somebody and you think they've got something else? No.
Wouldn't leave that in my hand.
Right, okay.
I haven't got a clue about football. I wouldn't get a football player.
And so, can we mention right, because obviously Charlie Duncan was a big part of this place. Was it a good 20 year now, was that right?
27.
Aye, 27 year. And famously, I mind the story broke when he got sacked. Right? But he was still wanting to stay, as far as I mind. He was still wanting to help out for the next person coming in.
No.
Or it wasn't like that?
Yeah, really, no. I think he wanted a clean break. But I mean, he's back and he's comes to a lot of our games and.
Aye.
And
so like, or was a better moment? Was there? And then
probably, yeah. It wasn't a good time.
He's kind of gotten past that stage, and
I think Abdi's kind of moved on.
Aye,
and it's good because
it's fine to hear that because again he was such a big part in like 27 years some career, as a manager, innit? It's not like Abdi does that for so long. So, and the manager knew he's doing great things, and obviously with what's happened to a team this year. And so how's your how's interaction with you and Abdi at plays here? Is it
brilliant? Really good.
So see, like being as chairman, is it more responsibility with meetings and stuff?
No, not really. No. The club's not set up for that kind of.
Right, okay.
We're a bit ad hoc when it comes to the meetings. We have board meetings, but we tend to see each other and we're getting WhatsApp chats and stuff. And so there's no need for like a weekly meeting or anything like that. But there is need for meetings and we'll have them. But we don't just meet for the sake of meeting.
Now, being a chairman now, obviously I'll roll on a list forever, will it?
Hope not.
So,
Hope not.
I'll roll with somebody ready to step into your shoes in our future.
Well, that's normally the plan.
Oh, right,
There seems to
okay.
be a lot of volunteers at the moment.
So, but you're quite happy for your team
Yes.
at the moment.
I mean, I'm not a businessman, but when it strikes imagination, but we have got businessmen on the board.
Yep.
But my forte is rules and regulations and
Uh-huh.
registration forms and all that kind of stuff.
Aye.
And I've been like one of them near it because they're a complete backside of it. But that's that's my thing. I like it, so I'm quite happy doing that. So it's
Aye.
so for being a part-time club and going to league meetings and for the heavy, that's I'm happy to do it because it's not a business thing.
Aye. Yep.
There is business brains on the board that deal with that kind of stuff.
The other thing I was going to mention, obviously, you're on a Sticky Trifle podcast, but you have got a podcast here now, you do.
Aye.
But
Well,
it's like
Willie Mackenzie, does it?
Aye. It's like a voice recording.
Yes. Aye.
And so it's Willie Mackenzie, and they can find that on Spotify, and.
I'll try to find it on Spotify, but there's one or two others the platforms that it's on.
Aye. I'll be honest, I didn't even ken us, but I just bumped into him earlier, and he kent about me, and I'd noticed on one of your signs it was saying follow us on the podcast. So there is a podcast, you can see it coming up. If you're interested, you'll see it at the end about it. So that's something else folk can join in and listen to.
It's a Bellesley Black and White, he calls it. And it's just folk that have anything to do with the club.
Aye.
Player, committee, past, previous, present. Well,
And so they get into a lot of history and stuff,
Yes,
and what's happening just now and stuff like that. Aye.
it's kind of there's a few supporters. Well, a supporter being interviewed tonight. So no, it's brilliant to listen to and kind of brings back memories of the games that I've seen.
And so, see, like you and I, getting away first place. So obviously it's a big passion in your life, but if it happens, like how do you switch off personally? Are you watching football at time here now?
No.
No.
I dinner.
Sky Sports, you're not going like that, and the wife's cracking up. No.
I'll watch football if Scotland's playing if I'm near the game. Dundee United or others. Scottish football's my thing.
Aye.
I mean, only thing South of Gretna.
Aye.
Honestly, I couldn't name you 5 players for only the Premier League teams.
Aye.
I just didn't watch it. I didn't like it. It's not for me. Folk like Spanish football, kind of suffer it. By half. I watched Barcelona play Real Madrid, and I've raved on about El Clasico and all that kind of stuff. It was a Saturday night, and Alisson was out somewhere. I thought, I'll watch this. By half time, I got completely fed up with folk rolling about and diving, but you didn't get out here. Fit I watch on a Saturday is just pure, proper football.
Aye, right, okay.
And it's entertaining. I mean, you didn't have to be the best 22 players in the league to hate, or the country to hear an entertaining game. I mean, you could go into Premier League games and they're boring.
Aye.
But you very rarely get a boring game in the Highland League because it's folk that are playing for the love of the game. And there's not a lot of histrionics and what have you. I mean, there was a game towards the end of the season that the opposition did behave like that, and it really annoyed me. And I can't imagine ever being as annoyed at a game as I was that day. That was a big game, but that doesn't happen in the Highland League.
So
Really.
like relaxation wise, is there only other pastimes to cup your time
I
away
like
from
films, I
football?
like reading.
So films, are we speaking normal books, or are you speaking like
It's
a
mainly-
Kindle or something? Or?
Aye, well,
Aye.
it's kind of there's books and all. I mean, but it's mainly Kindle. It's just so convenient. Yeah, but I like films. Me and my wife watch a lot of films.
So you going to watch cinema we are now and again? Or?
Aye, we have been in. Well, that as I say, that's how we really get started. But as life goes on, you get busier and busier, and there's less time, and it's quite expensive to go and watch.
Nowadays, I think Ardy's getting a bit scared about travelling too far and
Aye.
fuel and stuff like that.
There's a place in Peterhead now. That's really good. I don't know if you've been, but
Art cinema.
aye, oh, it's
Great,
brilliant.
great.
It's just 20 minutes down the road.
And Ardy's the same, comfy seats.
Oh, it's brilliant.
for
I could fit into
reclining.
them.
I've had one problem there though. There's about 2-3 occasions I've been there. Well, that's a good one. It's actually more to do with folks speaking. I've like kids in front of me, and they're speaking through her film, and the mum's going, "Oi, would you stop? Would you stop?" And they keep on doing it, and I'm thinking, "What's happening with parenting there?" And it's just
I've never come across that, to be fair.
I've had that a few times, but maybe wrong settings I'm getting into. So And the other thing, keeping the stadium kind of clean and that. It's a big
Aye.
thing to do, isn't it?
Well, Bobby Cow's doing here most days. He looks after a ground and what have you. He's one of our directors as well.
And fit about, you never get on like I shouldn't say that, but you never get on like incidents where you get young teenagers coming into the park and exploring and.
It's annoying. I mean,
and if it happens, are we speaking trying to get inside or no?
Now and again, it can,
and
especially around about now for the schools are off. But we've got CCTV all over the place.
Aye.
They can.
But so it's just what you get the odd delinquent coming in and doing
common damage stuff.
Aye.
If you come in and play football,
but they don't do that.
It's annoying enough, but if folk were that keen in football, we'll give them a part.
Aye.
But when they come in and just get damage stuff, and you take it personally.
It doesn't make sense either, is it?
No.
It's just it's a big playing field really for playing football.
That's right, and we look after it, and there's a lot of folk, because nobody gets paid to do the jobs here. So you take it personally. And
so, how hard is it to keep this place going? Because is there always funding going on? To keep our thing in operation and repair and update and grade?
And there's advertising boards, but the hospitality, that's a big earner for us, which is why we need to keep it.
And what happens in the hospitality, by the way?
Well, it's folk pay a certain amount of money to come and they get a few drinks before and after a game.
And that's based up there?
Yes,
right. Okay.
It used to be in the little, there. We used to get 40 and it was 130 up here. And it's full most weeks. Well, certainly once the dark nights come in. Start of the season we tend to struggle sometimes. They fill probably because of holidays and folk have other things on and the next. But once the dark nights come in, we struggle to find folk seats. Just fall all the time, but which is good. But we need to make sure that folk enjoy themselves. Winning helps. But there's a lot of good folk that come that are good supporters of the club. And if we're getting a bad run, they're not overly critical. Sometimes. But we're fortunate enough that we've been quite consistent over the years. They're there or thereabouts in most of the competitions.
And for do you think if the future, is the same team going to be in operation? Or do you hear slight changes now with the team?
You'll always hear changes. I mean, there's 2 or 3 who've retired this year. Unfortunately, through folk moving away, there's injuries have just go up with them. And see
injuries sometimes, are they off for a year sometimes?
Can be. I mean, we've had a run of knee injuries. One of the laddies you noticed coming in at night. I mean, what a bad luck, Jordan Smith. What a bad luck he's in. Just a young loon. And when he was in, we're under 18s. He was, and even in the juvenile clubs before that, he was scoring goals for fun. And I thought, brilliant. And he's just so much bad luck with his knee. It's a shame. And he was training last week and it went again.
So and just one of the things, you can't play with a broken wheel.
And the thing is, I mean, it's part-time football at the end of the day, and I've said to 2 or 3 folks that have injuries, it's important that they're running about with their bearings in the back garden, and able to do it rather than being crippled because you've played too many games here and you shouldn't have. So it's that life balance.
And for about yourself, am I right in saying, did you ever play yourself or in goals or anything?
I played in goals for a school, briefly.
So is there a wee bit like when you look back, do you wish you had made it as one of us players?
Yeah, really, no. As I said, I played for a school, the first year in academy, but I'd been coming here, and I was really enjoying coming here, and I just one day that I decided I'm going to go and watch a Brock and they play for a school. So John Black, he picked the team, and I spoke about it just the other week. It was more a disappointment in his face that he got to me. He didn't roar and shout or hit me with the things, but he was just Can he just look so disappointed?
So, and do you think that makes a difference in our wee team dynamics? If you've got a manager, it's something giving him a wee shout out about things, or is it better for us like a calm approach? What do you think? Does it work both ways?
It is. I mean, certain players react differently to, or they need different type of motivation to get them going. But I think it is though. Managers that stood and roared and sweared can carry it over themselves.
That's back in the 70s and 80s.
Their days are gone, I think. And probably rightly so. Cause I mean, but
and the thing is, when you've got kids in with dads or stepdads or whatever or granddads, it's not a good sign, is it? If you get somebody swearing and stuff like that. But it still happens the odd time, But
I'm not sure I swear word myself, but can you never get caught up in the emotion? You can never rein yourself into it. But there's folk can't be treated like they were before because they want to react. They'll just walk away.
But the banter side of things is good, is it?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Because when I've been here a few years back, I mean, I was one of the one of the persons at the sidelines. They're shouting at a young loon, "Come on, that's now you play him in, you daft," kind of stuff like that. And
I've got a thing. I've been my bonnet about things like that. I got an issue with folk coming and saying, "Well, that's not good enough. You're better than that," or can if it's a bad pass, can fine, but then I make it personal. Because that player that is playing on a Saturday, one thing could have been going on in his personal life.
It's embarrassing enough, presume, for that person enough.
He could have had a sleepless week because he's a new bearing or so just turning up, and I can through the years that folk have had stuff going on in their life, but they've turned out on a Saturday for a broch, and they probably shouldn't have.
And it can be awful disheartening enough for that player. He could finish that game and get, I'm not coming back.
Because everybody in the last 40 years I've been here, they've played for a club, and they've done enough. They didn't get. You can't be getting personal abuse.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And it does happen, and it's annoying because, as I say, they all come and they do their best, but they've got other things going on in their life.
But some of us folk, when they're doing that in the sidelines, they've got no idea how it happens on the other side, what that person's going through.
I mean, we'll ken because we're aware of the circumstances going on, and that annoys me. If somebody shouts,
it would slightly be like on a bullying borderline, wouldn't it? When that's happening now.
Where's my... Sorry.
That's all right. But I see it.
That's right. But no, I don't like when it's personal abuse. I mean, I'm moaning myself sometimes because of bad war or something, but none of them want to make a mistake. They all want to do their best. Nobody's ever walked onto the Billesley Park wearing a black and white shirt, or one other park wearing a black and white shirt, and no tried. They try all the time, every week. And that goes the same with every club. Because not just the Broch, every club in this league, the living folk is running about will be trying their best. Maybe not as good, maybe not best, not good enough, but they will be trying their best.
Great to hear. Thanks for being on podcast. I've enjoyed speaking with you.
Likewise.
And I ken you're a busy guy. I presume your wife will be wondering for you, right?
No, she's kids I'm doing for an hour or so.
And all the best. Hope the club keeps going good.
The
grass is looking sweet and all. Did you mow it yourself?
No, but Bobby did. It's his living room carpet, I think.
Right, so thanks again, and hopefully a chairman of the board. Is it a chairman of the board, we say?
That was a pub group.
Oh, yeah. Right, so here we go. This week's guest, Finlay Noble, and next week, number 58. And there's also a podcast, you'll see details on the end here, about Willie
McKenzie.
Willie McKenzie. He'll be on the podcast in future. That'll be the next thing. So, right, okay. See you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
Oh, I'm definitely in the right room here, eh?
Sticky Trifle podcast will return next week.
And it's been a lovely day here at Bersley Park, and next week we will see you for number 58 on the Sticky Trifle Podcast. And for everyone here at FFC, we will see you at the next game. Have a nice day, folks.
On the Beardsley Black and White podcast, Willie Mackenzie is available here. There can only be one real winner podcast, can there? Huh? You can fit him in, didn't you? See you next Sunday. Bye.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.